Hello everyone, good morning. I'm shooting this during the daytime. I know I usually do these videos in Spanish, but I decided to try one in English, and I think what I'm going to talk about is niche enough that a change in language won't be so jarring, I hope. The Emmy nominations were just announced. The full documentation is now on the Emmys.com site. I have not seen the nominees yet. So I wanted to do a live reaction, so I'm going to look them over. For those who don't know, the Emmys are the awards given by the Television Academy, so it's basically the Oscars of television, the Oscars of TV series. They're usually divided between comedy and drama, and there is a limited series category for shows that are only supposed to last one season. But of course, some of these later get picked up for second season, so their second seasons get moved to either drama or comedy, but that's a whole thing. I usually prefer the Oscars to the Emmys for several reasons. One, it's the Emmys have a shit ton of categories. They have really way too many categories. Actually, I'm just going to react to the big ones in comedy and drama. I'm not going to look at the limited series ones because I haven't really seen a lot of the. I haven't seen the eligible contenders. I will be seeing them in the 2 months from today to the Emmy Awards, which is on September 12th. But the other thing is, one problem that the Emmys usually have is that they like to nominate the same shows every year. When they find a show that they really love, they tend to nominate it pretty much every year, and sometimes they don't have room for new shows. So, you'll basically just find that if you just pay attention to the Emmys, there's just like a small handful of shows that are important for certain eras. And right now there's so much content being made, so many shows are being broadcast between the traditional networks that we grew up with and the cable channels and now the streaming services. There's so much TV to catch up on, which also explains why they often gravitate towards their favorite shows. It's natural. It's natural. Most regular people don't have. Actually, nobody has time to watch everything that is offered, and much less people who work to make those shows. The people who vote for the Television Academy are writers, directors, actors, producers, people who work to make the shows that are being nominated. The same problem happens with the Oscars, really. The people who vote for these things often don't have time to watch everything because they're busy making them. But one thing I like about the Emmys is that it does spotlight shows that maybe some people otherwise wouldn't have watched. Some of my favorite shows are shows that have won the drama or comedy series categories, which might say something about me, that my taste gravitates a lot towards what they like. But some of my favorite shows are shows that have won. Frasier, for example. I don't know if you've ever seen Frasier. This show won Outstanding Comedy Series 5 years in a row, and I actually started watching it when I started paying more attention to the Emmys and saw that it had won so many times. And even though I'd seen a few loose episodes on TV, I was more of a Friends fan when I was younger, so I would gravitate more towards Friends. But when I started watching Frasier regularly, it became one of my all-time favorite shows, and now I love rewatching it. Another show that I fell in love with because of its Emmy nomination as the due to the Emmys was Mad Men, which is, I think it's still my favorite drama that has ever aired, and I think I need to rewatch it. If you haven't seen it in a while, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's slow. It takes a while, but it is well worth it. So let's look at the categories. Now, I'm going to start with the big two, with drama series and comedy series. For drama series, now, what's interesting about this year, the last couple of years, for one thing, they were more exciting because given that a lot of shows were delayed because of pandemic stuff, some shows that hadn't been nominated for Emmys were suddenly nominated. I mean, last year they nominated the second season of The Boys, which is a show that didn't seem to be on Emmy's radar. In 2020, they nominated What We Do in the Shadows for its second season. I feel like there were plenty of shows that they gravitated toward because, well, they had less options. This year, a lot of the shows that have been on long hiatuses have come back. On the comedy side, that's Atlanta, Barry, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. On the drama side, that's Succession, that's Ozark. Well, the hiatuses weren't that long. It was like only 1 year they had off. But yeah. So a lot of shows that took a few years off are back this year. So that made the competition a bit more crowded. One problem the last 2 years have had is it's been the first two times in the history of the Emmys that there's been a clean sweep on one side of the Emmy primetime categories. By that I mean that one show had won Best Series, Lead Actor, Supporting Actress, Writing and Directing on one side. In 2020, it was Schitt's Creek for comedy. Shit, SHSCHITT. That's the joke of the show. But yeah, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Daniel Levy, Annie Murphy, they all won Emmys for that show. And last year it was The Crown on the drama side. That as to the Crown won drama series, but also 4 members of its cast won their respective acting Emmys. So we've been seeing a few too many sweeps, in my opinion, which when you watch the shows, you kind of get it. You watch these performances and say, okay, I would probably at least consider this person for a nomination. I mean, Olivia Colman playing anything, you always consider her for a nomination. Tobias Menzies was great in that show. So was Josh O'Connor's Prince Charles. But it does get a little jarring when you think, okay, were there any other shows? Even the comedy side last year was just split between Ted Lasso and Hacks, both of which their second seasons are eligible this year. So I'm expecting to see them both on the comedy series list. So anyway, I'm going to start with drama series. The big one we're expecting here is Succession. The second season won Outstanding Drama Series in 2020. And the third season was apparently just as acclaimed. I'm also expecting the final season of Ozark to be there. Better Call Saul is on the bubble. The final season of This Is Us, some people say it will be there, some people say it won't. Let's take a look. The nominees for Outstanding Drama Series are Better Call Saul, yes, it made it. Euphoria. Okay, second season of Euphoria, not bad. Ozark, yes. Severance, yes. If you haven't seen Severance, Apple TV Plus, it's brilliant. It's one of the best new shows. Squid Game History, that's the first foreign language television show ever nominated for an Emmy. It's maybe not any Emmy, but at least for series. So Stranger Things, of course, it's good. I did a video on it, which is in Spanish, but ask me, I can translate it. Succession and Yellow Jackets. Very strong lineup. Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things, Succession, and Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets, the first season. The show is on Showtime, and it's a show about a girls' soccer team who gets lost in the woods due to a plane crash, and we see them as teenagers surviving that, but also we see a few of them as adults 25 years later, and the trauma they've gone through from there. It's a terrific show. I didn't know if Euphoria was going to be here. I thought maybe it would be because the second season was so well regarded. And Euphoria is a show that swings. It's a show that always swings, and when you swing, you either hit or you miss. And Euphoria, I feel like it hits one episode and it misses the next, but I think the second season had its biggest hit with that fifth episode. I forget the name of it, but it's the episode where we see uh, Rue wandering the streets looking for her next fix, blowing up her relationships with pretty much everybody, with her mom, her sister, her friend. She even blurts out a big secret about her friend Cassie to her friend Maddie. Well, it's a brilliant episode. So, and Ozark, I was never the biggest fan of Ozark, but I do think it ended strongly. Squid Game, I don't love the end of that season, but I do think it's an interesting concept. So, yeah, this is a very, very strong lineup. Better Call Saul, which I think today is the first of the last batch of episodes of the show that's going to be aired. So it's going to be eligible again next season. This is these are the 7 episodes that aired in April and May. So, Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things, Succession, Yellow Jackets. Not here is the final season of This Is Us, which that's kind of sad. I mean, I did watch This Is Us from the beginning to the end. I adore that show, but I kind of get it. There was a lot of competition. It just sucks that it couldn't get nominated for its final season. Next up is comedy series, which this category has 14 shows that were previously nominated eligible this year. So of course not all of them will be there, but there are also some great buzzy new shows that could be here. There's Only Murders in the Building from Hulu, which I'm expecting is there. Abbott Elementary from ABC, which if you haven't seen it, it's a gorgeous new show. We'll have to see if the final season of Blackish made it. We'll have to see. Curb Your Enthusiasm is a show that's nominated every time it's eligible. Most pundits are not predicting it. We're not predicting it, but let's see what happened. The nominees for Outstanding Comedy Series are... Yes, Abbott Elementary. Thank you. Gorgeous new show. What else? Barry. No Atlanta. Oh, kind of figured, but yeah, third season of Barry. Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm is there. We shouldn't have... There's Hacks, of course. Only Murders in the Building. No Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? That's weird. The first 3 seasons were nominated. The first season won. Huh. I guess the hiatus did make it lose some favors. I mean, I do prefer this Only Murders in the Building to the 4th season of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Ted Lasso. Oh wait, no, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is there. They just put it on the T. Okay. What We Do in the Shadows. What We Do in the Shadows. I love the 3rd season of that. If you haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows, it's based on a film that Taika Waititi made. It's a kind of mockumentary show about vampires living in suburbia. And I love the movie. I love the show too. So it's Abbott Elementary, Barry, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, and What We Do in the Shadows. Not a very surprising lineup. Blackish isn't here for its final season, sadly, which I think I should have expected. I mean, it was nominated for its 2nd, 3rd, and 4th season. It was dropped for its 5th and 6th. It was nominated again for its 7th, but that was last year when there was less contenders. So I guess I should have seen that coming. Ted Lasso. I adore the first season. I thought the second season was weaker, but it has some great episodes. Hacks, I also thought the second season was... It ended a little weaker than the first season, but it also has some amazing episodes. I love that Abbott Elementary is here. The 3rd season of Barry... I don't know if I can call Barry a comedy anymore. It's so pitch black, and there are episodes that are so dark that it doesn't feel like a comedy while I'm watching it. But Bill Hader does intend it to be a dark comedy. I think he's just experimenting with the format. And, the Emmys have this binary system of drama and comedy. So it has to go somewhere, I guess. But anyway, those are the nominees for comedy series. Let's now look at lead actor in a comedy series. Lead actor in a drama series. Well, the only previous winner eligible this year... No, wait, there are two previous winners eligible. Jeremy Strong for Succession and Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us. Even if I didn't see This Is Us in drama series, I'm still expecting Sterling K. Brown in lead actor, since he was nominated even in the year when This Is Us was nominated. That's the 4th season. So I am expecting him. We'll have to see if Bob Odenkirk made it this year, because he was snubbed for season 5, which I thought was a travesty because it was his best season, but sometimes that happens with the Emmys when there are so many contenders. Let's take a look at lead actor in a drama series. The nominees are Jason Bateman for Ozark, of course. Brian Cox for Succession. We knew that, and he's great. He's terrific in that. Lee Jong-jae for Squid Game. He's terrific. He carries that show beautifully, and yeah, he won the SAG, so we could see this one coming. Bob Odenkirk did make it. Adam Scott for Severance. He's very good, and Jeremy Strong for Succession. No Sterling K. Brown, sadly. It's I know my mom is not the biggest fan of Randall Pearson, neither is my sister, but he won for the first season, and he was nominated for every season after that. He just missed for the final season, so he didn't go the distance, and well, it happens. But Jeremy Strong is here, and the thing with Succession is that it's a show that I love and loathe watching at the same time. I often loathe it because the characters are despicable, and it does get a bit repetitive at times. But I love watching it when it has great writing. And what's happened so far is that in all 3 seasons is that I feel like all 3 seasons have had moments where they've meandered, where I feel this is a little too heavy. But they've all ended strong. The season finales in all 3 seasons so far have been, I think, the best episode of their respective seasons. That's Nobody Is Ever Missing, This Is Not for Tears, and All the Bells Say. I'm pretty sure All the Bells Say was nominated for Outstanding Writing for a Drama Series. We'll see that in a bit. Let's look at lead actor in a comedy series. I'm expecting Bill Hader, since he won twice for Barry, and since Barry was nominated for drama series, for comedy series. I'm expecting Bill Hader. I'm expecting Jason Sudeikis, of course. I'm expecting both Steve Martin and Martin Short for Only Murders. Even if Blackish wasn't nominated for comedy series, I'm still expecting Anthony Anderson, though I know he might miss it. Should I expect Larry David? Let's take a look. The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series are Donald Glover, Atlanta. That one's weird because if you saw the 3rd season of Atlanta, he really was only in like 5 or 6 episodes of it, and he was rarely ever the lead of the show. But, he's still submitted as the lead, and he's nominated still. But, I didn't dislike the 3rd season of Atlanta. I thought there were maybe a few too many anthology episodes that made me think maybe Donald Glover was running out of stories to tell with his main cast. But I still thought it was a very interesting season. I just don't know if I would call Donald Glover a lead for it. But he's nominated, so. There's Bill Hader, Barry. There's Nicholas Hoult, The Great. I haven't seen this. I've only seen the first 3 episodes of The Great. I think Nicholas Hoult is brilliant in those 3 episodes, playing a truly despicable character. I hear he's even better in the 2nd season. I gotta watch The Great. I gotta watch more of The Great. There's Steve Martin, Only Murders in the Building. There's Martin Short, and there's Jason Sudeikis. Yes. Donald Glover, Bill Hader, Nicholas Hoult, Steve Martin, Martin Short. So no Anthony Anderson. That's another person who was nominated for every season of his show except for the final season, which I guess with so much competition this year was bound to happen. But Nicholas Hoult was the one I wasn't expecting. And we have both Steve Martin and Martin Short. If I were only to pick one of those two, I would have gone with Steve Martin personally, because I feel like he portrays more vulnerability with his character, though Martin Short is very funny. and they're both legends. So Bill Hader and Jason Sudeikis have already won this category for these performances. So congratulations to all 6 of these men. And I'm sorry that Anthony Anderson couldn't get another nomination, and neither could Larry David, though I kind of expected that because the last time Curb Your Enthusiasm was nominated for comedy series, Larry David was not nominated for lead actor, and it wasn't the first time that had happened, so I guess we had to expect it. Next up, lead actress in a drama series. Well, if Euphoria is nominated for drama series, then Zendaya is here, and she's probably winning again if she submits the 5th episode of season 2, which is amazing. I'm expecting Laura Linney to be here. I'm expecting Melanie Linsky from Yellow Jackets to be here, especially now that the show's nominated for drama series. Maybe Juliette Lewis. I wonder if Jennifer Aniston or Reese Witherspoon will be here for the morning show. Let's take a look. Or if one of the Killing Eve ladies will be here. Let's see. The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series are Jodie Comer for Killing Eve. Because now I have to watch the final season of Killing Eve. And I hadn't seen it because I heard it wasn't that great, but I will see it now. Laura Linney for Ozark. Expected, and she is very good. She was very good this season. Melanie Linsky for Yellow Jackets, of course. Sandra Oh, so they're both nominated. Who's that? Reese Witherspoon for the morning last time they nominated Jennifer Aniston 2 years ago. This time it's Reese Witherspoon. Interesting, because, well, I thought Reese Witherspoon was a little better in the first, more consistent in the first season. In the second season, I don't know. I felt Jennifer Aniston had the best material, but they nominated Reese this time. And the last one is Zendaya for Euphoria, of course. So the Killing Eve ladies are still here. I'll have to watch that 4th season. I mean, Killing Eve, I love the first season. The second season takes a dip. The 3rd season is fun. I heard the 4th season was not great, but I'll give it a look. Jodie Comer already won this for the second season. Zendaya won for the first season of Euphoria, and I think she could very easily win again. And it wouldn't be undeserved. She is, especially if she submits the 5th episode of season 2. Oh, in case you don't know, that's how it works. After these actors get nominated, they choose an episode to showcase. They choose an episode to send to Emmy voters that showcases what they think is the best they've done in the season. And based on that episode, they vote. Some people say that with the new Emmy voting rules, that doesn't really apply much anymore, but that's what they still do. Let's look at lead actress in a comedy series, and Jean Smart, who won last year, is going to be there, no question. I am expecting Rachel Brosnahan, especially since it did win. I'm expecting Quinta Brunson, the star and creator of Abbott Elementary, to be here. I'll be sad if she isn't. Let's see if Selena Gomez makes it for Only Murders in the Building, because she's a bit of a wild card. But let's see. Okay, let's take a look. The nominees for lead actress in a comedy series are, yes, Rachel Brosnahan for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. There she is. Yes, Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary. Kaylee Cuoco for The Flight Attendant. Oh, she made it. No, I was giving up on that show. The first season was nominated for a comedy series, but with so many shows, I thought the second season wouldn't be. And it wasn't nominated for comedy series, but Kaylee Cuoco was. And it makes sense. She plays like 5 versions of the character, and she's brilliant at it. I'm happy she's here still. I had so much fun watching the second season of The Flight Attendant. I'm glad she's nominated. Who are the other 3? Elle Fanning for The Great. Wow. Issa Rae for Insecure, and Jean Smart for Hacks, right? Yeah, Jean Smart for Hacks. No Tracee Ellis Ross for Blackish. She also missed she wasn't nominated for every season of Blackish, but she had been nominated for most seasons, so she missed the final one. Yeah, I guess we're at a point where only one broadcast show is nominated every year. I mean, Blackish was the broadcast show last year. The 2 years before that, it was The Good Place. Now it's Abbott Elementary. And I'm happy that it's Abbott Elementary. I love that show. Issa Rae, Insecure was also the final season. I tried watching a few episodes of Insecure. I couldn't really get into it. I'd like to give it another chance. I've heard it's very good. And I'm happy for Issa Rae, but I think this could be another one for Jean Smart. Although I'd love it if Quinta Brunson could win this one. She's really funny. She is very funny. I love that she's playing such a lovably earnest character. Kind of like a more kind of like Leslie Knope, but more of an underdog. So these categories that we looked at, lead actor, supporting in both sides, they had 6 nominees in each, and that's because given the number of people who were submitted to be nominated, they could only get 6 nominees in each category. The supporting categories have 8 in each category, so we're going to look at those now. Same with serious. There are so many serious have submitted that per the new Emmy rules there has to be 8 nominees. That's why there's 8 shows nominated on each side, which, yeah, it may sound like a lot, but given how much television there is out there, it might not be enough. Eventually they're going to go to an even 10, I'm sure. So, supporting actor in a drama series. It's very possible that half of this category is going to be the cast of Succession. Nicholas Braun, Kieran Culkin, and Matthew Macfadyen were all nominated the last time. And I'm hearing rumors that Alan Ruck could be nominated this year. Alan Ruck plays Connor, the son of Logan Roy that is not also the son of Lady Caroline Collinsworth, that he's a son from a previous marriage. So, of course, he's often looked down upon among the trio of Roys, Kendall, Roman, and Shiv. He's very funny. They're all very funny. That's the thing with Succession. You kind of can't begrudge that the people in it are nominated because it's such a talented cast working with some great writing. But that's also true of a lot of shows that don't get a lot of nominations. So there's the conflict. But, it kind of shows that it's a show that the voters are watching. Anyway, this was long-winded. Outstanding supporting actor in a drama series. The nominees are... There's Nicholas Braun for Succession. Of course, he's there. There's Billy Crudup for The Morning Show. Well, he was nominated. Well, he won last time he was nominated for this. And Corey Ellison is still the standout character of that show, so he is a lot of fun. Although I like the second season of The Morning Show better because it was overall more... It was overall trashier, soapier, kitschier. And I prefer The Morning Show when it's not taking itself too seriously. So Nicholas Braun, Succession. Billy Crudup, The Morning Show. Kieran Culkin, Succession. Macaulay Culkin's little brother, who frankly is a better actor than his bigger brother has ever been. Sorry, Macaulay. I mean, I've liked you in a lot of things, but I do think Kieran has surpassed you. Park Hae-soo for Squid Game. Was not expecting him. He's good, though. He's very good. There's Matthew Macfadyen for Succession, of course. Tom Wamgans. There's John Turturro for Severance. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. Wait, are there only no, wait, that's 6, so there's 2 more. John Turturro, Severance. Who else we got? Christopher Walken for Severance. Oh, well, they're adorable together, so that makes sense. And Oh Young-soo for Squid Game. So 3 from Succession, 2 from Severance, 2 from Squid Game. No Jonathan Banks again for Better Call Saul. And no Tony Dalton for Better Call Saul. He was awesome in... Tony Dalton has been awesome in the last 2 seasons as Lalo Salamanca. I do think he's been the standout. It's a shame he's not nominated again. But at least they got Bob Odenkirk here. And at least they didn't give another nomination to Giancarlo Esposito for just showing up on Better Call Saul. I think Giancarlo Esposito was brilliant when he was playing Gus Fring on Breaking Bad, and he's typically brilliant on Better Call Saul, but I just don't think he's ever had the material for a nomination, personally. So anyway, that's supporting actor in a drama series. What about supporting actor in a comedy series? Here's a problem with the supporting categories in comedy, which is that Saturday Night Live, the cast of Saturday Night Live is all eligible for the supporting categories, and I love watching Saturday Night Live, and I think the cast is very talented. There's very good people, but I do think playing different characters in a variety show is a different skill than playing the same character week to week, or in the case of many of the shows, for a 10 episode stint or an 8 episode stint. So it feels like comparing apples to oranges. It feels like comparing very different disciplines, though that's always a problem with these award shows. I mean, no two performances are ever the same. But this, I feel like we're judging two performances in two very different formats. So I've always had an issue with this, though it did result in Emmys for Kate McKinnon, and Kenan Thompson's been nominated several times, and I do love Kenan Thompson on SNL. Let's see who's nominated this year. I'm expecting Brett Goldstein to be back for Ted Lasso. I'm expecting Henry Winkler to be back for Barry. Tony Shalhoub to be back for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, since they've all won previously. Let's see who was nominated. The nominees are Anthony Carrigan for Barry. Yeah, NoHo Hank. He was very good this season. He was still very funny, but a lot more poignant this season, so I'm glad he's here. There's Brett Goldstein for Ted Lasso. Yep. There's Toheeb Jimo for Ted Lasso. Toheeb Jimo, is that Samo Bisanya? I don't know. He had the storyline I liked the least in this. One of the storylines I liked the least in this season. So, okay. I mean, he's good in it. He's good, but I don't like his storyline in this. There's Nick Mohammed. He had one of the best storylines in this season. Nick Mohammed plays Nate Shelley. He's very good. There's Tony Shalhoub. There's Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary. Did not see him coming. He's great. I didn't expect him to nominate a performance like that because it's so deadpan. It's not a very over the top performance. But I've liked Tyler James Williams ever since he was playing Chris Rock on Everybody Hates Chris. So I'm glad he has an Emmy nomination. And well, Abbott Elementary, he's very good in there. The other two, I'm guessing it's Henry Winkler. Yep, there he is, Henry Winkler for Barry. But who's the eighth nominee? Bowen Yang for Saturday Night Live. Yeah. He was nominated last year for playing the iceberg who sank the Titanic. He's very funny. I do like him. Keenan's not here. That's a shame, but because Keenan's always great. And there's nobody from Hacks. Carl Clemens Hopkins was nominated last year. I heard Paul W. Downs might have gotten nominated this year. We still have 2 from Barry, 3 from Ted Lasso. So there is a bit of variety here, which sometimes gets lost when they nominate so many people from the same show. Let's take a look at supporting actress in a drama series. Julia Garner is here, no doubt. Sarah Snook is here for Succession, no doubt. The big question mark, Patricia Arquette. Since both Christopher Walken and John Turturro are here, I'm expecting Patricia Arquette, of course. Christina Ricci, I'm also expecting her for Yellow Jackets, and she is very good. Although, I think I would have liked if they had nominated some of the younger cast of Yellow Jackets. Sophie Nellis, Sophie Thatcher, Samantha Hanratty, Ella Purnell. Maybe in later seasons if the show gets very popular. Let's take a look at supporting actress in a drama series. And here's the big question mark. Will Sydney Sweeney make it for Euphoria? She plays Cassie in Euphoria. Will she make it? Will Sadie Sink, who plays Max on Stranger Things, make it? Let's take a look. The nominees are, there we go, Patricia Arquette for Severance, of course. Julia Garner for Ozark. Yes, I knew that. No Millie Bobby Brown, though. Jung Ho-yeon for Squid Game. She is a standout, and she won the SAG for that performance, so it makes sense, though. She is terrific, so. Jung Ho-yeon. There's Christina Ricci for Yellow Jackets. Snook, Sweeney, Sink. Could it be? Rhea Seehorn for Better Call Saul. Finally they nominate Kim Wexler. She's deserved it for several seasons now, but finally, Rhea Seehorn for Better Call Saul. Great, thank you. And who's this? That's J. Smith Cameron for Succession. Jerry Kellman. She is very good. It's a lot of Succession though. Is the next one Sarah Snook? Yes, it's Sarah Snook for Succession. And Sydney Sweeney for Euphoria. Yep. A nomination for Sydney Sweeney, who plays Cassie on Euphoria. I know she's a bit of a divisive character, but I thought her storyline in the second season, I mean, she did get on my nerves a bit throughout, but I think Sydney Sweeney portrayed that teenage petulance and that lack of that is the lack of confidence in who she is brilliantly. Plus that monologue she gives at the beginning of the season 2 finale of Euphoria is, I think that's what clinched her Emmy nomination. Just her interrupting her sister's play to shame everybody, including the audience, on how they're all addicted to train wrecks. It's very good stuff. So yeah, Sydney Sweeney for Euphoria, excellent. So Patricia Arquette, Julia Gardner, Jung Ha-yeon, Christina Ricci, Rhea Seehorn, J. Smith Cameron, Sarah Snook, and Sydney Sweeney. That's a good category. It's a pretty good lineup. And yeah, I've seen all their performances. I might rewatch a few of these actually. Let's look at Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Kate McKinnon is definitely going to be there. She just left SNL, so she's going to be there, no question. Adie Bryan could be there, but they did nominate Pete Davidson, for whom it was also his final season on SNL. So I'm expecting Hannah Einbinder. I'm expecting Sarah Goldberg, who was brilliant this season. I'm expecting Alex Borstein, who has won twice for playing Susie Meyerson on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I'm expecting Juno Temple and Hannah Waddingham. Hannah Waddingham won last year for Ted Lasso. Juno Temple was nominated, and she's always been great. Let's take a look. The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series are... That's Alex Borstein. Yes, Alex Borstein, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Hannah Einbinder for Hacks. Yes. Janelle James for Abbott Elementary. Okay, yeah, she's very funny. She is kind of a hateable character, but she is so funny, and you do wind up feeling for her. So it's a great performance. I'm glad she's nominated. There's Kate McKinnon, so no Adie Bryant. There's Sarah Niles for Ted Lasso. Sarah Niles? I mean, yeah, she was good. She was good. I don't know if I would have nominated her for that, but there's Shirley Ralph for Abbott Elementary. I love Barbara Howard on Abbott Elementary, so Shirley Ralph. But are the last two just Juno Temple and Hannah Waddingham? Yep, Juno Temple and Hannah Waddingham. So there's 3 from Ted Lasso, 2 from Abbott Elementary, only 1 from Saturday Night Live this time, Kate McKinnon. Hannah Einbinder's back, Alex Borstein is back. Not a bad lineup. Not quite what I was expecting. Yvonne Orji didn't make it for the final season of Insecure. Some people were predicting that, or there were people predicting there was going to be another one from Hacks. Maren Hinkle's no longer nominated for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She plays Miriam Maisel's mother. But of course, I mean, we had to make room for Janelle James and Sheryl Lee Ralph, who are both awesome on Abbott Elementary. So a good chunk of that cast was nominated. That I'm happy about. Sarah Niles, I mean, she was in some of the best scenes of the second season of Ted Lasso. Her therapy sessions with Ted were very, very moving. So they still left Ted Lasso. They still nominated quite a few members of the cast. Only this time they didn't nominate Brendan Hunt or Jeremy Swift, even though Brendan Hunt had a whole episode to himself with Beard After Hours, but yeah, I actually do agree with them not nominating Brendan Hunt this time. So let's take a look at the directing and writing categories, because I usually find these very fascinating. I mean, they almost always nominate season premieres or season finales. Pilots they love, series finales they love. Let's take a look. Oh, you know someone who wasn't nominated, who some people thought might be? Mandy Moore for the final season of This Is Us. I guess the final season of This Is Us wasn't that well received by the Emmy voters. Bummer. Maybe not surprising, but bummer. Well, directing for a drama series. We're expecting a lot of Succession here, so let's take a look. Ozark. Well, it doesn't say the episode title, so I would have to go in to look at that. So the series finale of Ozark, directed by Jason Bateman. Okay, that makes sense. What else? Hang on, I need to go back in. The series finale of Ozark, directed by Jason Bateman. The the season 1 finale of Severance, directed by Ben Stiller. The We Are, best episode of the season. The season 1 finale of Severance was brilliant. The series premiere of Squid Game, directed by Hwang Dong-hyuk, which makes a lot of sense to us to nominate the first episode of Squid Game. We have 3 episodes of Succession. One of them is The Disruption. Is The Disruption the second? I have to check which episode that is. It's directed by Kathy Yan. But we also have the episode Too Much Birthday, directed by Lorene Scafaria. That one I know exactly which one it is. It's one where Jeremy Strong sings Honesty by Billy Joel. Just for that, I really like it. And, of course, Mark Mylod for directing the Season 3 finale, All the Bells Say, which, I mean, I usually like it when directors who are nominated so frequently are nominated, but I can't really argue against the Season 3 finale, which is brilliant. And we have Karin Kusama for the pilot of Yellow Jackets. Karin Kusama, she directed a film called Destroyer with Nicole Kidman. She is one of those directors who is very very gritty in what she does, and yeah, I do love what she did with Yellow Jackets. So we have the series finale of Ozark, the season 1 finale of Severance, the series premiere of Squid Game, 3 episodes of Succession, and the pilot of Yellow Jackets. A pretty good lineup. I've seen them all, so but yeah, it's turning into a Succession fest, even though Ozark is there. Ozark has always been nominated for directing, so it makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad Severance is getting so much love. That was a bit of a wild card, I gotta be honest, but I'm glad it's getting it got quite a bit of love. Adam Scott's nominated, Christopher Walken's nominated. They weren't assured. Let's take a look at directing for a comedy series. There's been a rule in the last few years where at least one of these nominees has to be a multicam sitcom. By multicam, I mean sitcom with a laugh track. Like The Big Bang Theory, like Two and a Half Men, like Friends, Frasier back in the day. I mean, those are less frequent nowadays, but they institute. I don't know if that rule is still in place. Let's check. The nominees for directing for a comedy series are. We have Hiro Murai for Atlanta New Jazz. I have to check what episode that is. Bill Hader for Barry 71 On or 710 or 710. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It's a 710 with an N at the end. I think that's the 6th episode of season 3. I do remember that one's pretty good. Lucia Agnello for the season 2 premiere of Hacks, There Will Be Blood. We have 2 episodes of Only Murders in the Building. Sherian Dabis for The Boy from 6B. That's a really good episode. That's the episode that's mostly told from the point of view of one of the neighbors' deaf son. So it's a show where you barely hear anything there. You can kind of hear a little bit of dialogue, but it's like muffled. So, there are subtitles. Yeah, it's basically one of those episodes that asks you to get in the mind frame of somebody who's deaf. So that's really interesting. I'm glad that's nominated. Jamie Babbitt for the series premiere of Only Murders in the Building. The first episode of Only Murders in the Building is nominated for. MJ Delaney for No Weddings and a Funeral from Ted Lasso. That's actually a really good episode. It's an episode that has Rebecca grieving for her father, for her very complicated relationship with her father. I think it's the episode that Hannah Waddingham is going to submit for Ted Lasso. It's a good one. And Mary Lou Bell for the Miss Pat Show, Baby Daddy Groundhog Day. I have no idea what that is, but I think this is the multicam nominee from BET Plus. I'll have to take a look. I haven't seen it. Baby Daddy Groundhog Day. Interesting. So we do have an episode of Atlanta nominated for directing. We have an episode of Barry and an episode. Hats. Well, Lucianiello won this award last year, so of course it makes sense that she's here. 2 episodes of Only Murders in the Building, both very good, both terrific. MJ Delaney. Well, last year there were 3 directors nominated for Ted Lasso. This year's just MJ Delaney, but it is a very good episode. So I am happy for him. Now let's take a look at writing for a drama series. I am, of course, Succession. The only episode submitted was the season 3 finale, All the Bells Say. So so we're not going to see multiple nominations for Succession here. We might see multiple nominations for different shows. We'll see if Better Call Saul made it to writing this year, with Bob Odenkirk and Rhea Seehorn both nominated. I think there's a pretty good shot. I'm guessing there's going to be an episode of Severance, an episode of Squid Game, maybe an episode of Yellow Jackets. Maybe if the 5th episode of season 2 of Euphoria gets nominated, that I think will be a brilliant nomination. Let's take a look. No Euphoria nominated. Well, can't win them all. Better Call Saul, Plan and Execution, written by Thomas Schnauz. I think that's the mid-season finale. I'll have to double check, but Better Call Saul usually has terrific writing. Ozark, A Hard Way to Go, written by Chris Mundy. That's the series finale. Severance, The We Are, written by Dan Erickson. Of course, the season 1 finale. Squid Game, One Lucky Day. One Lucky Day. So it's not the series premiere. Is it the season 1 finale? Because I think One Lucky Day is the season 1 finale, which I didn't really like all that much. Oh well. Hwang Dong-yuk. Succession, All the Bells Say, written by Jesse Armstrong, of course. And there's 2 episodes of Yellow Jackets. That's interesting. The F Sharp, written by Jonathan Lisco, Ashley Lyle, and Bart Nickerson. That's the 2nd episode of the show. Pretty good episode. It leads to a really interesting discussion among the girls on things they regret, and one girl talks about her trauma with F Sharp. It's a good episode, and I really like the end of that episode. And also the pilot, written by Ashley Lyle and Bart Nickerson. So to recap, there's 2 episodes. There's I think the mid-season finale of Better Call Saul, but I have to check that. The series finale of Ozark, the season 1 finale of Severance, I think season 1 finale of Squid Game, the season 3 finale of Succession, and the first 2 episodes of Yellow Jackets. Not bad. Probably not my ideal. I mean, I would have loved it if that episode of Euphoria were nominated. I probably would have even given that episode of Euphoria the win. But, not everything's meant to be, as they say. And what about writing for a comedy series? Barry, Hacks, Ted Lasso, I'm sure will be here. We'll see if Atlanta's here, because Atlanta has been... But since Atlanta wasn't nominated for comedy series, maybe it won't be here. And there's a possibility that Reservation Dogs... I mean, sometimes there's a show that wasn't nominated for comedy series that shows up here for a very interesting pilot. Girls 5 Eva was one last year. There was a year where Community was nominated for one of its best episodes for Remedial Chaos Theory. Community is a show that I think should have gotten way, way, way more Emmy love. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It's a great show. But it did once get a writing nomination that I don't think anybody could see coming for one of, frankly, its best episodes. So what's nominated for writing for a comedy series? Abbott Elementary. Oh, no Atlanta. Okay, so the pilot of Abbott Elementary, written by Quinta Brunson. I think there were better episodes of Barry than of Abbott Elementary than the pilot, but the pilot is still very good. The pilot is very good. I just think there were better episodes throughout. Barry has 2 episodes. Again, the 710N, written by Duffy Boudreau, and Starting Now, that's the season 3 finale, written by Bill Hader and Alec Berg, the series creators. Makes sense. Hacks, The One, The Only, that's the season 2 finale, written by Lucia Niello, Paul W. Downs, and Jen Statsky. They won last year for writing the series premiere of Hacks. So of course they're nominated again. I'm not the biggest fan of the season 2 finale, though it's not bad. Steve Martin and John Hoffman for writing the series premiere of Only Murders in the Building, True Crime. Okay, good episode. If you haven't seen Only Murders in the Building, I do recommend it. It's on Hulu, and if you live in Mexico, it's on Star Plus. There is an episode of Ted Lasso nominated. This year's just one. And it's No Weddings and a Funeral, written by Jane Becker. I'm glad it's that one. It is, I think, maybe the best episode of season 2. So, and there's 2 episodes of What We Do in the Shadows. Last time that was nominated, there were 3 episodes. Which 2 episodes are nominated this year? The Casino, written by Sarah Naftalis. The Casino. Oh, that one's funny. That one's funny. And The Wellness Center, written by Stephanie Robinson. I don't remember The Wellness Center. I'll take a look in a bit, but I did really enjoy the 3rd season of What We Do in the Shadows, so I'm glad it's nominated. Anyway, so that's... I usually look also at the category for guest actor, and guest actress in a comedy or drama series. So let's quickly take a look at those. These are very interesting because they are usually bit parts, people who appear in 1 or 2 episodes in a season. They used to give it to season-long villains or season-long guest stars, or sometimes they would just choose a member of the cast to put in guest to get an extra nomination. But now there's a rule that they have to appear in less than half the season to qualify as a guest. Of course, one problem in the comedy categories here is that that sometimes the comedy categories are filled with SNL hosts. I mean, last year, guest actor in a comedy series was 4 SNL hosts plus Morgan Freeman for the Kaminsky Method. So that's a bit of a bummer. But speaking of What We Do in the Shadows, I'm happy it's nominated for comedy series again. But why could they nominate somebody from the cast? I mean, Harvey Guillen as Guillermo is great. Mark Proksch as Colin Robinson. He was amazing this season. Matt Berry, Natasha Demetriou, Kavian Novak. It's a terrific ensemble. And Kristen Schaal appeared regularly this season. Why don't you nominate Kristen Schaal? Why don't you nominate the voice of Mabel Pines? I mean, Kristen Schaal should be nominated for everything just for doing Mabel on Gravity Falls. If you know me, you know I'm a big fan of Gravity Falls. Right, let's take a look at the guest categories. Guest actor in a drama series. I think Adrian Brody will be here for Succession. James Cromwell, maybe Ron Cephas. Even though This Is Us didn't appear in the primetime, maybe Ron Cephas Jones will appear for one final nomination. We'll see. Martin Short for The Morning Show. He was nominated last year, and he's typically pretty good. So let's take a look. There he is. Adrian Brody, Succession. Yes. James Cromwell, Succession. Yeah. Coleman Domingo. Coleman Domingo. Oh, yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, he's good. He's very good. Ariane Moayed, Succession. Another one from Succession. Tom Pelphrey for Ozark. He wasn't nominated in supporting in the 3rd season when Ben appeared throughout the entire season, but he got a nomination for guest starring in an episode in a flashback. I think this is more a way they've done this before. They never nominated Michael McKean for Better Call Saul, and then after the character died, they showed a flashback and they nominated him for as a guest for the flashback. So, and Alexander Skarsgård for Succession. We have 4 from Succession. Well, Alexander Skarsgård is very memorable, and yeah, he plays a huge role in the 3rd season of Succession in those last 3 episodes. Alexander Skarsgård already has an Emmy for Big Little Lies for that 1st season, which was submitted as a limited series. So yeah, we have 4 from Succession, Coleman Domingo from Euphoria, and Tom Pelphrey from Ozark. Okay. Let's take a look at guest actor in a comedy series. Here it is. The nominees here are Jared Carmichael for Saturday Night Live, Bill Hader for Saturday Night Live. Yeah, there. James Lance for Ted Lasso. Who was James Lance in Ted Lasso? If he played Jamie Tartt's father, then yeah, that was good, but I have to check who James Lance is. Nathan Lane for Only Murders in the Building, that makes sense, and he is pretty good, though it would have been nice to nominate that really good deaf actor who plays his son, Theo Demas. Christopher McDonald for Hacks, he's always fun, and Sam Richardson for Ted Lasso. I have to remember who that is. So the two from Ted Lasso. I saw the second season of Ted Lasso like almost a year ago, so I think I need to rewatch to get a refresher on some of it. I mean, No Weddings and a Funeral, that's an episode I have very fresh in my mind, but not the whole thing. So we have Jared Carmichael and Bill Hader from SNL, James Lance and Sam Richardson from Ted Lasso, Nathan Lane for Only Murders, and Christopher McDonald for Hacks. Okay. Next up, let's take a look at Guest Actress in a Drama Series. Here I am expecting... Well, and I'm also expecting quite a few Succession girls here, so let's take a look. Hope Davis for Succession. Marcia Gay Harden for The Morning Show. That makes sense. Martha Kelly for Euphoria. Okay, she's great. And she closes out that 5th episode of season 2 in hilarious fashion. She's one of those actresses who is a master of the deadpan. Her deadpan delivery of everything, she makes it work in either comedy or drama. It's a really good performance. I'm really glad she's here. Sanaa Lathan for Succession, Harriet Walter for Succession, again Lady Caroline Collingswood. And Lee Yoo-mi for Squid Game. Lee Yoo-mi, she plays that girl that plays with Sabek in the marble game. You know that girl that eventually says she has no reason to live. Sorry, that's a spoiler for anybody. But yeah, she is very good. She's very good. Yeah, I'm Mr. Glad she's here, and it's a pretty outside the box pick. So there are 5 actors nominated for Squid Game. And for Succession, how many actors are there nominated for Succession? Brian Cox and Jeremy Strong in lead actor, those 3 in supporting actor, 2 in supporting. We have 14 actors got nominations for Succession, which is more than the last time. For season 2, how many were there? There were 6, 7, there were 9, so we go from 9 to 14. Yeah, Succession's going to win again. I already knew that, but, these nominations pretty much confirm it. And we could be looking at a Succession love fest for the wins. So we'll be looking at another very close sweep. As for Guest Actress in a Comedy Series, what do we got? Jane Addams is nominated again for Hacks. I do really like Nina Daniel, so. Harriet Sampson Harris for Hacks. Harriet Sampson Harris. If you don't know who that is, she's brilliant. She played Bebe Glazer on Frasier, so just for that, she is brilliant comic actress. But she also had one of the best scenes in Licorice Pizza, one of the best scenes in Phantom Thread, so Paul Thomas Anderson has been using her brilliantly. I need to rewatch her scenes on Hacks to remember who she is. But just the fact that now she's an Emmy nominee is excellent. She should have been nominated at least once for playing Bebe Glazer on Frasier. There's Jane Lynch, of course, for Only Murders in the Building, which is kind of cool. She's pretty memorable. She plays Steve Martin's character's former stunt double, which is really interesting. Laurie Metcalf for Hacks. Yeah, her I remember perfectly. Caitlin Olsen for Hacks. Yeah, she plays Deborah Vance's daughters, and she is typically pretty good. So, and Harriet Walter is nominated for Ted Lasso. Harriet Walter plays Rebecca Wilson's mother, and I'm guessing she's also submitting No Weddings and a Funeral. But she is very good. She is so she's nominated for playing very ambivalent, well, not ambivalent, but very problematic mothers in both Succession and Ted Lasso, which I think is really funny. So those are the those are my reactions to the Emmy nominations this year. No Saturday Night Live. No SNL hosts in guest actress in a comedy series. That was interesting. So I guess this season of SNL wasn't as lauded as previous seasons, at least by the Emmys. Um, there are other categories, the limited series and made for TV categories. I'm not getting into right now because I frankly have to watch what was eligible, watch what's nominated, which I probably will do in the next 2 months as soon as I look at the nominees. I just wanted to react to the serious nominees, which because those are shows I've been watching throughout. These last couple of months, I watched the entire first season of Yellow Jackets to get ready. I finally saw the second season of Euphoria to get ready, and both were nominated. Some other shows that I watched that I wish were nominated: Reservation Dogs, I think, is a show that should have been nominated for Outstanding Comedy Series, and maybe a few episodes for its writing, because it's a brilliant show. The After Party is one that I really enjoyed, which I don't know if I would have nominated it for anything particularly, but I still enjoyed it. I'm really glad I have Abbott Elementary. Ghost is another show that I think should have been nominated for comedy series. I wish This Is Us had been nominated for drama series, but that's a bummer. I wish Sadie Sink had been nominated for Stranger Things. Stranger Things is nominated for drama series, but we didn't see it in any other category. So again, none of the actors were nominated this year, which sucks for Sadie Sink, who was the best thing about the fourth season of Stranger Things. Maybe she'll be nominated for one of the last two episodes that will be eligible for next year. The last two episodes of the season of Stranger Things weren't eligible as for this batch. Also not eligible was The Crown, because the fifth season hasn't been released yet, or The Handmaid's Tale. The fifth season is coming in September. The Boys, I know the third season is already underway, but it started airing after the Emmy cutoff date, so nothing from any of the Marvel TV shows, nothing from any of the Star Wars TV shows, which honestly, whatever. It's not like I'm that big a fan of what they're doing with the Marvel TV shows and although I think the new Miss Marvel show is doing some really interesting things. So those are my reactions for now. I haven't decided if I'm going to be reacting to the winners yet, whether I'll be reacting during the ceremony or if I'll make a video the following day just talking about the winners, which I think is most likely because I don't know if I'll be home for when the Emmys air. But in the meantime, this was my live reactions to the Emmy nominations, which I've been waiting for weeks. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be doing a few more of these in English when I feel it's a bit more appropriate. But I'll also be doing some Mr. reviews in Spanish. It's going to depend on honestly what I feel like it. Maybe I'll do some Mr. videos where I talk a little bit in English, a little bit in Spanish, but I'll try to say about the same things, about the same thing. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy this 1 hour reaction to the Emmy nominations, and happy movie watching, cinephilos. Yeah, that's still my call sign. What can I say?